Strange Magic, written by Suzana Thompson, narrated by Sarah Sampino. Chapter 19. I had been expecting something more impressive. The crystal of devotion was not even very big, which made it the perfect size for a pendant that hung on a silver chain. It looked like something that anyone could buy at the mall. Certainly, it wasn't the kind of thing that I would expect a rich girl like Anna to wear. It was hard to believe that she had tried to kill me over something that looked so ordinary. I remember this. I've seen Anna wear this before, Duncan said. So have I, Mrs. McKenna said. That's why I knew what I was looking for. How did you get into her house? It was easy enough to read the housekeeper's mind and learn the security code. Wow. Caitlin was listening in fascination to this conversation between Duncan and his mom. She had been invited to this meeting, since she was now involved in this after Anna attacked me at her birthday party. Amazingly, I had slept through the night as if I didn't have a care in the world. The fight with Anna had tired me out more than I had realized. Now, I was sitting in Mrs. McKenna's kitchen and sipping tea while she showed us the crystal. I can't see another way out of this, Duncan said. We have to give it back to her. No, Mrs. McKenna and I protested in unison. We have to. It's the only way she'll leave Susannah alone. I don't think that's going to happen, Caitlin said. She's been obsessed with Susie from the beginning. Think about it, Duncan. You dumped her. A girl like Anna isn't used to that. Now she knows that you like Susie, and she can't stand it. I'm afraid she's right. Mrs. McKenna's eyes, the exact same shade of pale blue as Duncan's, were filled with concern. That also rules out our other option of moving again. We can't keep running from her. Maybe I can make some kind of deal with her. Caitlin pointed out the obvious. Once you give her the crystal, you have nothing left to bargain with. I think I should keep it. They all turned their attention to me. Duncan spoke. What? The crystal. This is the first place she'll look for it. Maybe if she doesn't find it, she'll think one of her other victims has it. Duncan immediately began to argue. It's too dangerous. We've already decided that I'm in danger. Anyway, you said she couldn't touch me. Susannah is the most powerful of all of us, Mrs. McKenna said, almost talking to herself. I don't like it. Nobody likes it, Duncan, but we have to keep it from her. I instinctively knew this to be true. I still think we should destroy it. That'll just make her even more mad, Caitlin said. So that's it? Duncan asked. We just pass it on to Susannah and hope that Anna gives up? The main thing is to act normal, Caitlin instructed us. You guys moving is probably what tipped her off in the first place that you were the ones who took it. Everybody keep to their normal schedules. Different is what makes you look guilty. Caitlin left shortly after that to go to a movie with Alex. Mrs. McKenna went upstairs to continue working on her latest painting. Duncan and I sat in the living room and continued talking. I had put on the necklace and hidden the crystal beneath my shirt. I didn't really expect Anna to come bursting through the door, but I wasn't taking any chances. So, you didn't tell me that we can move objects with our minds, too. According to Anna, that's a much rarer ability than reading minds. I didn't even know that I could do it until she insisted that I try. She had me practice every day for 2 weeks. Staring at that feather made me feel ridiculous, but Anna kept urging me to give it more time. She was so excited when I succeeded in lifting it off the table. Now I know why it was so important to her. That's how she got that power? From you? I asked. Not all of it. I was never able to lift something as heavy as a couch. I think that's a combination of what she took from several different people. Who knows how many she had to steal from to get that power? She said something about you recovering. Does that mean you're getting your ability back? It takes time. But Mom says I'll build it all back up again. She read that there are rumors of rare instances where a person's power was permanently drained by the crystal, but nobody knows if that's true. The ones who increase their power, though, keep it for life. How much more does she need? I couldn't understand why she was so obsessed with getting more. Need has nothing to do with it. With Anna, it's all about what she wants. Maybe we should try talking to her dad, I suggested. I told you, Susanna. He doesn't believe in any of it. We could just say that she's stalking you. Maybe he would make her leave Ohio. He's probably not even here, Duncan said. You mean she's here by herself? I couldn't imagine my parents allowing me to do something like that. I'm sure he's arranged for some kind of guardian to look after her while she's here. Well, at least we don't have to be apart anymore. I really missed you, Duncan. I missed you too. I couldn't stop thinking about you, Susanna. I thought that he was going to kiss me then, but he talked about our plans for after school tomorrow. He was going to drive me to the mall and drive me home after work. The less time you spend by yourself, the better. The following day, Duncan was back to sitting with us during lunch. We waited to see what Anna would do and breathed a sigh of relief when she went to sit with Brad and his group. Alex stopped by to tell us that he had asked Anna about hypnotizing us. I couldn't find the video on YouTube. She says she pressed the wrong button and it didn't record. Seemed pretty mad about it, too. Alex! His buddies were calling him from the table where he always sat. He looked at Caitlin apologetically. Go ahead. She waved him on. I'll see you later. Nobody knew that I had worn the crystal of devotion to school. I had been uneasy with the thought of leaving it at home when both my parents were at work. In the end, I had put it on and hid it under my sweater. It was my responsibility to keep it safe, and I had quickly become protective of it. For 4 days, Anna left all of us alone. Duncan and I settled into a routine of school and work. Several times when we were alone together in his car, I had thought that he was going to kiss me, but he seemed to be holding himself in check. I was just glad that we were able to spend time together again, so my disappointment was short-lived. It was on Thursday night, when I was taking out the garbage, that Anna showed up in my yard. It's time that you and I talked. Hold on a minute. I went to get the next garbage can, but it started rolling up my driveway. Soon, all the cans were by the curb. You can't do that. If somebody saw that, it's done, and nobody saw it. You could have at least said thank you, but you weren't raised with manners, apparently, Anna said. Well, excuse me for being rude, but you tried to kill me a few days ago, so etiquette is not really at the top of my list right now. Good, you remember. Now just give me back my crystal, and we can avoid any further unpleasantness. I don't know what. Anna cut me off. Apparently, you did forget one thing about me. I can read minds, and Caitlin has no clue how to shield her thoughts from me. I didn't find it in your house, so that means you must be wearing it. I was going to ask how she got in my house, but I realized that locks meant nothing to Anna. She could just think them open. It was bizarre to know that I had this same ability. Don't you see how many problems it's caused in your life? You lost Duncan because of it. I lost Duncan because of you. I stared at her. He didn't even know me when you broke up. He was upset and not thinking straight. He would have come back to me eventually. I gave him some time to cool off and start to miss me. Instead, I find him here with you chasing after him. Then you expect me to just stand back and let you have my crystal, too. I was walking down the driveway and into my backyard as she followed me. I turned around to face her again. Look, Anna, let's just give it back to me. I can't. Duncan isn't here to protect you now. I'm giving you one last chance to give it back. My mouth had gone dry, and my heart was pounding with fear. Mutely, I shook my head. Anna lunged at me. I wasn't sure if she was trying to physically take the crystal, or if she had just lost her temper. Instinctively, I pushed with my mind. Anna stumbled, but held her balance. Her eyes narrowed. Well, well, what have we here? No wonder Duncan is drooling over you. I thought he was your hero, but it seems you worked together to stop that furniture from hitting you. My arms had been at my sides the entire time. Now I raised one to pull the crystal out from under my sweater. You've done enough damage with this, and you don't deserve it back. I think it's time for you to leave now. Without waiting for a reply, I turned around to walk toward the house. That's when I felt a force behind me, and I stopped and turned around. The basketball hoop was leaning inches from my head. It had been suspended in the process of crashing into the back of my skull. I watched as it gently straightened back into place. Anna's mouth was open, and her green eyes were staring at me with disbelief. I don't just mean my yard, either. It's time for you to leave Ohio. Then I continued walking back into my house and closed the door.